Shalom, Spawn Yeshua, welcome again to The Rock. Two things. One, tonight, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, we'll be having a live stream and we will be discussing, will not be a long stream, but we will be discussing a topic that I've said that I probably would not go in depth in, and I'm not going to go in depth in this live stream, but we will talk about the topic of biblical marriage, or that's monogamy and polygyny. And the reason is because apparently there has been a lot of discussion on the topic recently, and I have been asked my opinion on it. But I'm obviously we've already discussed this from a biblical perspective, so and everybody knows where I stand. But there are just some things I wanted to say as far as, I was sent a lot of videos and discussions on the topic, and I don't know how people ask me what I thought, so I guess I'll just kind of put it out from the perspective of somebody that lives this book and lives the topic that a lot of people choose to discuss, and whether it be disparaging words or words of encouragement. So I'm going to speak from my perspective on the topic. Excuse me. Oh, there's a fly bothering me. On the second thing I want to talk about is I wanted to ask you, how are you doing? How are you doing as an individual? How are you doing as far as your faith goes? How are you doing? There's a lot of stress that's going on, and I noticed that a lot of people don't have people that care about them. There's a sickness, there's a demonic influence over this world. People are literally, filled with demons, telling them things, speaking to them. I just want to know, how are you doing as a listener to the channel? A lot of people, they don't, like I was saying, they don't really have a friend. They don't really have somebody they can talk to. And I'm surprised at how many don't. And no, I'm not talking about you hyper-religious people who you can say, well, I don't need nobody but Jesus. Because if you notice, even Yeshua had disciples. The Bible says, when people say that, I don't need nobody but Jesus. First of all, I don't use the word Jesus. His name is Yeshua. But second, when I read the book and I read in the beginning, in perfection, in the Garden of Eden, Yah saw that Adam was walking alone and said it is not good for man to be alone. Even though Adam was in the presence in Eden, where it was him, the animals, and the Most High Yah himself, Yah still saw that it wasn't good for man to be alone. Made him a helper. We are supposed to talk to people, fellowship with people. I mean, you see in the Yah's feast days, there are commanded holy convocations, which are called holy gatherings. You gathered together. The Bible says, two is better than one, for there's a great reward for their labor. It says, woe to him that is alone. Woe to him. It's not saying that we don't need alone time, but it is saying that you should have, a friend or friends, people that you talk to, people that you can bounce ideas of. Iron sharpens iron. How do you sharpen yourself if there's no other material to sharpen yourself with? I know a lot of men, you try to sharpen yourselves off your wife, and you end up wearing her down, trying to sharpen yourself off of her. You're supposed to have other brothers, sisters, other sisters, your husbands. We don't have that today. And people are mentally are feeling it, with the whole zombie plague, COVID, separation, get away from people, they could get you sick. They gave you the fear, and relationships suffered, friendships suffered. I know some of my own relationships and friendships suffered because people were so hyper COVID vigilant. Oh, I don't want to catch the zombie plague, so I'm like, okay, I understand that, but we're missing the opportunity to fellowship. We're missing the opportunity to talk and to, even, on the telephone, social media, it's really made our relationships very abstract, where you think you know somebody because you see their life on, social media. Social media is giving people a place to hide. You can hide your insufficiencies or your failures because nobody's in your face. I remember back in the day when people were in each other's face. Like, I knew you and you knew me by us chilling together, by us rolling together, by us doing things together. That's how we knew each other. Now it's, let me look at your about me description. That's going to tell me everything I need to know about you. So that's why I ask, how are you doing? Do you have those friendships? Do you have those groups and gatherings and people you can roll with, people you can chill with, people you can break bread with, people you can converse with? That's not over uh, an electronic device. When you're not having to use electronic devices as mediums, how are you doing? Do you have a person to talk to? Do you have somebody you trust? I'm surprised to find out how many people don't have friendships in which they actually can trust a person with their information. So they do what the average person does: is they go to church and they tell their pastors and their elders everything, and then when you decide to do something that your pastor or elders don't want you to do, then they blab out all your information and all your whole life. They blab it all out. But the whole time you were there, they told you they loved you. Until you don't do what they want. How are you doing? There's so much abuse. There's so much people are using each other, taking advantage of each other without any, inhibition. It's just people have literally become lovers of themselves, completely self-centered. Me, 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 and I don't care who I have to use. I don't care who I have to hurt. As long as I get and me gets, and I'm happy. How are you doing? Hopefully, I'll see you tonight, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Shalom.